Hey everyone, it's Cory McCarthy and welcome to a new episode. As many of you are likely aware by now,
the news is alight with stories about how the Italian government is proposing jail sentences on vegan parents who impose their diet upon their children. In a recent BBC News article, it was quoted the vegan diet is devoid of essential elements for children's healthy and balanced growth, going on to elaborate specific vitamin and mineral deficiencies, all of which I've previously discussed ways to obtain as a vegan on this channel in great detail.
This proposal comes after 4 cases in the last 18 months where apparently malnourished children had been taken into Italian hospital care, apparently due to being fed a vegan diet.
Thankfully, the BBC did go on to cite that the American Dietetic Association, currently known as the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, supports vegan diets for children so long as they are properly planned. And I've demonstrated that official peer-reviewed statement by that organization time and again on this channel, that well-planned vegan diets are appropriate for individuals during all stages of the life cycle.
And this brings me to my main point with this matter. You cannot blame all vegan parents for the idiocy or neglect of a handful. Allow me to elaborate.
In a Washington Post article from this past July, you will find specific cases from Italy of blatant stupidity and neglect. For instance, vegan parents who do not believe in dietary supplements, or another set of vegan parents who, and I quote, had fed the baby a diet of mainly soy milk and apple juice.
Mainly soy milk and apple juice? Those parents are total morons, but not because they chose to feed their child a vegan diet. No, let's be clear about this. Rather because they chose to approach their child's diet in such a limited, unbalanced, illogical, and lazy capacity. It is so painfully obvious what the real culprit is here: human stupidity. Those parents would have very likely gotten their children sick regardless, eventually.
When you consider the myriad of foods at one's disposal as a vegan,
soy milk and apple juice, for example, are by no means even remotely painting a comprehensive picture. They don't even scratch the surface. How the hell did this path of logic not occur in the minds of those responsible for this proposal? Well, hopefully it will occur in those who make the final decision. In no way should a handful of obviously neglectful cases be representative of the safety of a plant-based diet as a whole for children.
Especially when there are plenty of examples of healthy children being raised on vegan diets, like the ones presented at veganhealth.org, for instance.
And yes, those are anecdotal cases, but so are the cases being used as grounds for this proposal in Italy. And there are more cases of healthy vegan children than unhealthy. But wait, the plot thickens. There is something we are not hearing from the mainstream media outside of Italy. Something an Italian friend of mine recently brought to my attention and wanted me to be aware of before I made this video. Something every vegan needs to know about this situation.
There exists footage from a recent speech by the deputy of Italy's 5-Star Movement. In this video, the deputy exposed the lies about the kid from Genoa who was hospitalized for malnutrition.
In his speech, the deputy references the doctor who actually treated that child. At this point, I will allow my Italian friend to translate this gem for you all. This is exclusive content to this channel. Let's roll the clip.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday, after the session, I talked about the story of the little girl in Genoa. Well, yesterday in my speech, I had the opportunity to mention my telephone conversation with the medical director of the hospital Gaslini in Genoa, who had just told me that the child had eaten the cheese during the weaning. This removes any doubt about the fact that the child could be vegan. Yet, the journalist continued to write that the child is in intensive care because of the vegan diet. We can say now that the baby was not vegan. In my speech yesterday, I also mentioned the case of October 15th. Yesterday, I mistakenly said it was the city of Treviso, when actually it was the city of Belluno. Anyway, the October 15th, I contacted the medical director of the health department of Belluno Hospital, who unequivocally cleared to me, while the newspapers continued to write that there was a new case of vegan baby in hospital in Belluno, that in reality it was not a child who had been fed with 100% plant-based diet, but simply he had a weaning problem like many other children. For this reason, yesterday I also reminded you that there is no need to exploit these tragedies as the media always do in such cases, always pointing the finger against the vegan diet. At this point, I quote and then I close, recently there has been a government campaign called Time of Milk Dietetic, where were named as a sponsor the famous chef Carlo Cracco, Mistress Parodi, and the nutritionist Mr. Calabresi. Well, Mistress Parodi stated, on the morning, to start the day, I choose fresh milk. Well, the LAV, which is for Anti-Vivisection League, has intervened, beating in the Ministry of the Agriculture against this government campaign. Also, the Institute of Advertising Self-Regulation has intervened, forcing to change the pages on the site paid with public money. This Institute of Advertising Regulation has written, based on documented scientific report, that the proteins and other nutrients provided by cow milk can be replaced by other food with no animal origin. So, I think it's time to stop with these attacks on those who have consciously chosen 100% plant-based diet, which, as I always say, the plant-based diet is good for animals, it's good for the planet because it's the only sustainable diet, and above everything, it's good for the people's health. Thank you.
Fa bene al pianeta perché è l'unica alimentazione sostenibile e soprattutto fa bene alla salute delle persone. Grazie.
So, it turns out that in at least one case, in Genoa, the child wasn't even fed a vegan diet after all, but rather she had been consuming cheese. And in another case, in Belluno, it wasn't the vegan diet that caused the little boy to get sick, but rather a weaning problem that many children experience. Yet despite this all being medically documented, the media persists with the lies. In fact, there is an obvious media and government joint smear campaign against vegan diets going on right now in Italy. And I truly fear that this won't remain an Italian phenomenon, especially given how the lies and misinformation have been flooding into the media outside of Italy now. And if this Italian proposal becomes approved, I fear similar proposals might begin popping up in other places. This needs to be exposed to the vegan community at large, so I ask that all of you please share this video and get this heard. Anyhow, that wraps up what I have to say on this matter at the moment. I hope you all have found this eye-opening and informative. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you'd like to directly correspond with me, please do so by commenting over at my blog at strongerfastervegan.com and under the appropriate blog entry, which I will link below for your convenience. I will also link all references from this video over at my blog. Also, if you want to stay on top of future content like this, hit that subscribe button to ensure that you get the alerts. Otherwise, till next time.